Hello friend, welcome back to the new videos of CodingPie. Today I am gonna show you that how you can build AI powered text summarizer. In this video you will learn about what are the pre-trained models that are available for text summarizer, and with the usage of simple pre-processing step. On top of dataset you will get good result. So without wasting time, let's get started. So quickly install all the necessary libraries, which include Gradio and Transformer. In my case it is already installed, so it says requirement already satisfied. Next I used to import the necessary module, which include Gradio for creating user interface. I also used to import regular expression, which is useful in text preprocessing. Next, from Transformer I used to import pipeline, which helps to load the AI model for summarization. Now next step is load the summarization model. For this I used to define a variable called summarizer, and here you can see the pipeline consists two parameters. Summarization is a task which is to be performed on top of dataset with the usage of model BART-Large-CNN. BART stands for Bidirectional Autoregressive Transformer, that is to be provided by Facebook. Pipeline function is high-level API provided by Hugging Face Transformer. It simplifies the process of using pre-trained model for various natural language processing tasks. Now after running the code, your device is going to be set to use the CPU. Now quickly move on to the fourth step, where I defined pre-processing function. This function is pretty much important because it reduces the summarization time. So for that we have to clean the data before feeding into the NLP model. Now here, as you can see, process_text is a function which consists one parameter, that is text. With the usage of text.strip function, I used to remove leading and trailing white space from the text, then store it to the text variable. Next, with the usage of re.sub function, used to replace multiple consecutive white space character with single space, then again store it to the text variable. Next, I have to remove the unnecessary character from the text, and at the same time I also need to keep the important one. For this again I use sub function, which is provided by regular expression. So here you can see whatever inside the list, it is to be preserved, and except that is to be replaced with empty string from the text. Next, I used to ensure that sentence ends with proper punctuation marks. For this I used conditional statement and mentioned that if the last text is not from in, like dot, exclamation sign and question mark, I used to append it with dot. Next, finally I used to return the text. Now quickly move on to the next step, that is post pre-processing function. This function ensures that the first letter is always capitalized after summarization, and also remove extra spaces from the generated summary. For this I used to define a function called post_process_summary, which consists one parameter, that is summary. Now summary.step remove the leading and trailing white space from the summary and store it to summary variable. Next, with the usage of conditional statement, if summary statement will check if the summary is not empty, then I used to define a variable called summary and mention that summary with index 0 access the first character of the summary. With the usage of upper function, it will be converted into uppercase later. Next, I used to add rest of the word to the summary, and finally return summary variable. Now quickly move on to the main summarization function. This function combined pre-processing, summarization, post-processing into a single function. Ensure that summary is well formatted and ready to be used. So for this I used to define a function called summarize_text with single parameter, that is text. Then I used to call preprocess_text function, and then inside that I used to pass text parameter and store it to the text variable. Next, with the usage of conditional statement, I also mentioned that if character length less than 50, it will shows warning message. Then I call summarizer pipeline, and inside that I used to pass text and defined maximum length and minimum length. And for deterministic output, I used to make sure that do_sample should be false. Now with return statement, I used to call post_process_summary function, summary with index 0 with summary_text. This will extract the actual summary of the text from the output of the summarizer. Now finally come to the last step, where I used to create user interface using Gradio. So here, as you can see, I used to define a variable called iFace, and with the usage of Gradio I used to call interface class. Inside that I used to call a function called summarize_text and store it to the fn variable. Now for taking input, I used to define input as variable. With the usage of Gradio, I used to create a text box using gr.textbox function. I used to define line, placeholder and label. Now for taking output, I used to define output as variable. And with the usage of gr.text box, I used to create a text box with label. Finally, I mentioned the title of the project with description and theme. Also mention live equal to false for creating clear and submit button. Now quickly I used to run the code and scroll it down. With the usage of iface.launch function, I used to deploy the code on Gradio. As soon as I run the code, I will get the public URL. After clicking on it, wait for few seconds and you will redirect to the public user interface. So here as you can see, AI text summarizer consists two text boxes with two buttons, clear and submit. Now quickly I used to paste the text inside the text box and I scroll it down and click on submit option. As soon as I click on submit, I will get the summarized text inside the AI generated summary box. So this is how you can build AI powered text summarizer. I hope this video is informative. Please do like, share and subscribe for more informative videos.